conversation. And no, I hope people can hear me right now.
Oh, yeah, we've been live for like 5 seconds.
Bad friend. Bad friend.
I'm not a bad friend. I was just getting some jollies, and you didn't tell me you had anything you want to talk about.
Sorry. Chance of even you had that stream on so loud I couldn't even hear you.
I'm old. I'm hearing impaired. Hearing impaired.
Yeah,
I was waiting for a response because I was calling Scott Peachy ugly, and then I gave him a $5 super chat and told him to go buy some makeup.
That's very nice.
So I just wanted to. I wanted to see what he was going to say, but apparently, I guess he's got some new lighting going on. Maybe Ken hooked him up.
That lighting looks good. He got that kit off Ken, I think. The Stream Deck, which seems like it works really well. I might have to try and buy one of those with the discount.
Yeah,
that light looks awesome. So I think I'm going to get a light for behind my monitor instead of using this big that's in my face right now.
Well, you got that big Godox light, didn't you? Isn't that what you got? Yeah, with the diffuser. I thought you liked that. It looks good.
I do like it, but the one that Scott's using is simply like a ring light that's behind the monitor.
Well, it does look good. The only problem is it looks like it has a little bit of like a smoothing effect going on with this camera and the lighting. Like it doesn't look natural. Like what you have going on right now. I mean, you can see your 14-year-old. You can see your 14-year-old razor rash there from shaving.
Look at that. I mean, that's terrible. Hurts.
Did you use a trimmer thing to trim it down before you got going, or what?
Oh, absolutely. Then I used sensitive foam, and then I used a brand new razor, and I'm like, I'm such a pussy when it comes to shaving. I've always had
bad. Hey, it's PG. Wednesday night's PG. Friday night you can use the words.
We'll talk then. Now you told me to shut up.
Anyway, so welcome, Big Dog. Welcome anybody else who's here already, and if you're watching this after the fact, welcome to Unhinged Tech, the latest and greatest tech talk show on Wednesday night. And you can see why it's called Unhinged Tech. I mean, half the time it's just he and I going at it, but we're going to talk some tech stuff. There's been a lot of things going on in the tech world the last couple of weeks, and it's funny because normally everybody talks about TechTember, but now everything's ramped up so quickly they're calling it TechTember right now. Oh my gosh, dude! All right, so back it up about 3 inches. There we go.
50% left, and I've had 4 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact Samsung because I didn't want to. There was not really a mechanism through Samsung where I could have them send me one and send them another one. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make a warranty claim on mine and be like, hey, send me another one because the battery life on this thing is terrible, and maybe I'll get one that works.
Mine is schizophrenic. 2 days ago, I got 4 hours screen on time all day, and I didn't use it anymore.
No! Just stop talking right now. You've lost all credibility. You just tried to rate the phone's performance by mentioning the screen on time, and clearly, screen on time is not an indicator of the performance of the phone.
What was I thinking? I should have actually spoke about how long I can stream Bluetooth audio
without ever looking at the screen.
That's right. I'm such a failure. Yeah. I'm going to go and start a new YouTube channel, like Fat Guy Shaving.
I need somebody else to co-host the show. You lost all credibility.
That's right. I'm sorry.
All right, you can come back. I can't find somebody this short notice. You got to give me at least 12 hours notice.
This is bullshit.
Anyway, so yeah, Dan, what he and I are talking about here, he and I both have not great battery life with our Note 20 Ultras. And of course, we've been told by everybody in the world how we should use our phone, how the phone is intended to be used, how screen on time doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. Everything under the sun. I'm like, look, I do this all the time. I test phones. I review phones. I know what I'm doing. I've tested it with the 5G off, with the Wi-Fi, with the adaptive battery, with the optimization. I've done everything humanly possible known to man. And I'm sorry, if you have the 120 hertz on the screen, I can't get more than 5 hours of screen on time with like 10-15% battery left.
That's right.
Yeah, if you can't scroll through Instagram, yeah.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
I'm just not good enough.
No, I mean, that applies to a lot of things, but particularly in this situation, no, you're definitely not good enough for that.
Sublinesman.
Hey, what's up, Trash Panda 2.0?
But he had some bad news this week. I'm not getting into it, but I hope you're doing good. Very good.
Sorry to hear that, man. Well, I'm glad that you're here with us, so I'll just make fun of Dan tonight, and you can get some humor at his expense. I did see that he did get, I think he got his Galaxy Watch 3 came in today or something. I saw him post something from like thanks FedEx because they finally delivered it.
Yeah, to go with his plastic Note 20.
Yeah, it's funny to me. There were a lot of people. Hold on.
There are a lot of people with plastic Note 20s, let me tell you. I've seen more people with the plastic Note 20 than the Note 20 Ultra.
Really? I don't ever go out in the real world, so I haven't seen anyone carry any of them. But so yeah, when it comes to the notes, people were today going, "Oh my gosh, this shouldn't surprise me," and the blah blah blah, and the yada yada, and everybody got ripped off because you can go to B&H and you can get a Note 20 Ultra for like $10.99 and a Note 20 for yeah, that's great and all, except I got $200 trading credit when I bought mine. Well, here's the thing. One, I got $650 trading credit, or $550 for my phone, and then I got $200 of Samsung in-store credit. So yes, you're not getting that trade-in deal with B&H. You're not getting the $200 of Samsung credit for in-store, which you can buy like earbuds or something else with. So you're straight up paying $10.99. If that appeals to you, go ahead.
I only paid $800 for mine after today.
Yes, I know. Because you're like the master of getting all the good deals. I don't know how you manage to get these deals all the time. It's just ridiculous.
Because I'm good and you're crap.
I just usually settle with paying what the price is. I mean,
exactly. That's half your problem right there.
I tell you what, though, I got to tell you, I did get $100 back on my Samsung, but I don't want to talk about that right now.
Not for T-Mobile, Tobes. I would like to, but they can't send any out because they've got none to send out.
Yeah, so I think the gravy train's kind of passed. So what Tobes, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right. So what Tobes here is alluding to, the LG Velvet just came out on T-Mobile this last week. It came out on AT&T originally, Snapdragon 765G, all that good stuff. The T-Mobile version has a MediaTek processor in it. So it's got a MediaTek chip, which is also 5G, but so here's the thing.
It's an 800, but it's actually a 1000.
Yeah.
And
so,
next level set of cores in it, the A77 instead of the A76.
It could actually be better than this 765. I don't know.
Supposedly 20% faster than the A76, but in real life tests, it's 10% in single thread, and GPU's only 8%. So they're telling lies.
Well, here's the thing when it comes to MediaTek. MediaTek is well known for overinflating their performance statistics. And I don't know that it's one of those things where it could be if you use it in this scenario and they just don't put an asterisk next to it, it's this much faster. MediaTek always claims that they are more powerful, blah, 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 equally weighted, stuff like that. Like if you look at the Snapdragon, I think they were comparing it with like the 730 with the new MediaTek like G90 chip. I think it's G90T chip. And either way, so like you put them apples to apples, oranges to oranges, it is actually faster. But see, the thing is with the Snapdragon chip, it's like an 8 nanometer chip versus the G90T is like a 12 nanometer chip. So it uses more power. It's not as power efficient. And yeah, on like the single core speed, it might actually edge it out a little bit and have better performance. But when you start looking at individual things or like the multi-core speed or some other stuff, those are things I don't really get into. I don't get into the benchmarks. I don't get into all that stuff. It's just way out there. And most people that watch our stuff don't really care about those things. But yes, MediaTek does usually get flack for the way that they measure their chips. And they always say that the apples to apples variation between the Snapdragon equivalent, they always say theirs is faster. But they're not so bad.
They're not terrible. Not like they used to be. I mean, once upon a time, if you had a MediaTek chip in your phone, half the apps wouldn't work because they weren't compatible on it. On the LG Wing. I have a lot of thoughts on the LG Wing. I don't know whether they want to finish on the Velvet before starting the Wing, but
yeah, just let me cap this off real quick. But yeah, when it comes to MediaTek, they have gotten a whole lot better over the last couple of years. You can actually use a MediaTek in many instances now, and it's actually usable. And you don't notice a lot of things like the slowdown, the shuttering, the performance optimizations that you use to deal with. So I will give them credit in that department. I don't know why they went with that with LG, but the thing is, we talked to LG and they just don't have any review samples to send out, so I can't test it. But the LG Velvet, as far as I'm concerned, is a solid phone. And even at that price, they knocked like $20 off of it too. So, but yeah, we can go ahead and talk about the LG Wing. And I want to talk about the Moto RAZR 5G too. So you can start off with the Wing. You go ahead.
They've already started on slagging the Wing off. They've already started throwing it and calling it a dumpster fire before they've even touched it. A lot of these bigger YouTubers. Explain how is somebody going to explain to me with a straight face how this works? Well, it's quite.
Are you quoting, paraphrasing Marquez Brownlee there?
What was that about? What
I really expect better from him. I mean,
he talked about innovation and everything. If that had an Apple logo on the back, he'd be all over it. He'd be all over it.
I'm not going to say anything bad about the guy. I don't know him personally, but
no, I mean he's good at what he does. But as soon as LG is mentioned, they're dumpster fire.
Yeah, well, that was just like Mr. Mobile with the beating a dead horse gif whenever they talked about the new BlackBerry. Like these guys, like they typically appreciate when there's new stuff, when there's innovation and things like that. But they pick and choose. It's like when Marquez seems to not like LG. It's like when the V60 came out and he called it a mid-tier phone, but then he calls the Note 20 with the same 1080p resolution and 60 hertz screen a flagship. So it's very frustrating to me when you can't get people who are consistent with the message that they put out. If you're going to call the V60 a mid-tier, you need to call the Note 20 a mid-tier. Or you need to just not talk trash about them, period, if you're going to praise one and not the other. And, of course, yes, he did knock on the Note 20, but not in the same category as the V60. The V60 was downplayed from the get-go purely because it didn't have 120 hertz refresh rate and a 1080p screen, but it comes in at several $100s cheaper than the competition. And tell you what, that 5,000 milliamp battery, it lasts all day.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Now, back on the Wing, I'm really looking forward to the Wing. I can see, if you're somebody who likes to watch streams, whether it's Twitch, Mixer's gone away, I suppose, with the new Facebook gaming, or just YouTube, or anything like that, this is going to be great because you're still going to be able to watch a widescreen video and still be involved with the comments and the chat and things like that. I can see a lot of use purposes for it. What if you're having a big like Teams call or Duo, Google Duo? You've got a few of you in there, and there's chats going. You can chat as well as being on the video and see everybody in there instead of using half of a 6-inch screen, which isn't very good. I can see a lot of good uses for it, and I'm sure there'll be more as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. And another thing that I really like about it that I see as a really good use case scenario is me. I like to watch things in widescreen sometimes, but I don't like to have to hold my phone like this the whole time, like this. Like this.
Comfortable.
You can just hold it in one hand. Mm-hmm. You can still use it one-handedly because you have the bottom part of the screen, but you still get the media experience up top. I think that this is going to be a sleeper phone. And I don't think by sleeper phone, I mean like sleeper phone, like it's going to change the world's opinion about LG. I think the way that people perceive it and the actual road test, and you find out that people enjoy it, is what's going to be the sleeper. I think once this gets out into some people's hands, they're legitimately going to enjoy the experience as opposed to it being the flop or tell me how they're going to stand up there with a straight face and explain this.
I agree. I think people are crying out for innovation right now. Everyone's going on, have we hit peak smartphone? And
yeah, that's what this year is, innovation.
Yeah, take your hat off to LG for even trying. I mean, all right, the G5 wasn't successful, but they tried something different with a modular phone. What was the one called where it was bent like a banana?
The G Flex. I love the G Flex. The original G Flex and the G Flex 2.
Ergonomically, was the best phone I could sit and talk to on the phone without getting any aches in my wrists or anything, or having any issues. It was great, and it self-healed. The back of it, if you remember the back of that, it had a self-healing back. Yeah.
The only problem, see, LG will do like 85% right, and then they'll run into a problem. The G Flex 2 was widely received as not being a terrible phone, but it had the Snapdragon 808 processor in it, which was very prone to issues. It overheated all the time. It got super crazy hot. It would start having problems, and it would have it was very buggy because of that. And one funny thing, the Snapdragon It was either the S6 or the S7. I think the S7 was originally going to have the 808 Snapdragon in it, and then they ended up putting the 820 because there were so many problems with the 808. They passed on.
The 20 was the one that overheated.
No, the 20 didn't overheat. The 20
they brought out an 821 revision.
The 821 came out later. At 821
was a revision because the cores were too close together, operating with each other, so they had to swap the cores, the location of the cores around because of the heat issue.
The 821 was in the original Google Pixel, and it was in the LG G6.
It was in
and the 835 was what was in the S8. So the 820 was in the S7, and then the S6. The S6 is the one. Yeah, that's what it was. S6 put the Exynos processor. That's the only one that came in the US that had the Exynos processor, and because they decided not to use the 808 last minute because it was having so many problems.
Because the LG G Flex used an 820, and then they changed it to an 821 at a later date, if I remember rightly, because of the heating up issues.
Sure, I think the G Flex 2 had the 808.
Really? I'm getting really confused. Yeah. I'm just trying to look up now.
The G Flex 2 I'm sorry, the 810. That's what it was. Yeah, the 810.
The 810 was the overheater, was it? And then the 820. Right, there you go. I knew it was somewhere along that line.
Well, the 808 was not good either, but the 810. That's why Samsung scrapped it, and they went with the Exynos processor in the US.
If you're wondering why I'm leaning to one side, I have a camera tripod in front of my monitor, and I have to peep around it to see what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm doing. If you're wondering why I'm like, oh.
I actually have a couple of questions here. The answer to this question, Sam, is yes.
No. You know it's no, because of what I've done today. Now, will I get one?
I'm not saying you're going to get one right now. Before the end of this year is up, you're going to have one in your pocket.
Probably just after, like beginning of the new year, I think I'll probably have one. But I'm not going to have one right now. I made a conscious decision to go with the Tab S7 Plus because I wanted a tablet. And
that's a great tablet too. I can't wait to get one.
I was more hyped for that than I am the actual Fold, because even though the Fold can be used as a tablet, it's still not a 12-inch screen like I can get on the Tab S7 Plus. And it's got the 120 hertz, and it's got everything else I want. And then, long story short, I have $500 in credit with my carrier, and they knocked my note down by $500 today instead of having $500 for Fold 2.
That's a fantastic deal, man.
So I purposely did that so I wouldn't be tempted to go and get the Fold when it comes out next week. So I will have the Fold, but not immediately.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here because I know I set the stream up today. It's supposed to work with Twitter through Periscope, but it doesn't seem like it's showing up where people can see it. And I don't want to start it over. I don't want to mess with anything, but
I won't bother.
Yeah, maybe I should have done a test, but yeah, I don't know how that works. Maybe I need like a Periscope link. Maybe that's what it is. I'll try this. But yeah, it's funny though. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that the Samsung Galaxy S6 actually has an Exynos processor. It does not have a Snapdragon.
And back then, though, the Exynos was better than the Snapdragon.
It was, which is funny because they crossed paths and one went up and the other one went down. So it's really interesting the way things worked out with them. But Samsung pretty much put all their chips in. I don't know, they're just weird. Maybe one day the Exynos processor will be better, but it seems like they really just
AMD is going to be the next mobile chip provider for Samsung.
That would be cool.
I think so.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But LG doesn't do very well with marketing. You're right. They don't retail the tech. They don't do anything. And then all of a sudden today or yesterday,
Marlon Wayans.
Oh, yeah, I see an advertisement for the Velvet. I'm like, what? They've spent some money on advertising? It's like, okay.
And here's one thing I want to, Lions Man, it makes a very good point here. What are these people going to do if Apple doesn't bring 120 hertz? How in the world?
It's not ready yet. Apple will bring it when it's ready, and it'll be better than everybody else's.
I'm sure it will be, but here's the thing. We've had all these mainstream people that have been hating on all these 60 hertz Android displays, and then you're going to have so many people come out and praise the new iPhones when we all know that all of them, absent maybe like the Pro Max or whatever they're calling it, is not going to have that higher refresh rate. So we're going to be talking about $1,000 iPhone with a 60 hertz screen. So how's that going to be received?
Mid-tier phone.
But then they'll be like, oh, but the A14 series chip is the most powerful chip in the world. I'm like, well, the Snapdragon 865.
Well, yeah, I mean, the 865 Plus, it's such a big improvement, the 865 Plus. I think it's finally called neck and neck with the A13. So when the A14 comes out, yes, the A65 will get beaten by it.
Yeah, but it's going to 6 months sooner.
That's right. Then the 875 will come out, and I think that's what it's got to now. Snapdragon, Qualcomm have finally caught up to the A series. People seem to think that by the time the A15 comes out, that Apple are going to have this magic sauce that they're going to put into their silicon. They're not. They're not. They're going to keep on like they do. The best part of that chipset that they have is the GPU. It's super powerful and can offload a lot of stuff to run through the GPU, and that's where it'll be better than the Snapdragon. But for actual regular everyday stuff, you're not going to see it anymore. The gap isn't there anymore.
No, there really isn't. Another question: will you buy the Wing? Well,
yes, but I'm hoping I don't have to.
I am hoping to get a review unit. That would be the most ideal thing here, just because I've got a good relationship with LG and I've got their last two phones. But this is like it'll probably be a more expensive, more premium level phone. So I don't know if they're going to restrict giving it to smaller YouTubers like Dan and I. So I'm hoping to get one.
Like Dan and I, guys on 30,000 subs nearly, and I'm on 4.5.
Yeah, well, this is. They first started working with me when I had 4,000 subs.
Smaller. All right.
I've been fortunate the last couple of months that my channel has skyrocketed. But that doesn't mean I'm a big YouTuber. So I don't know that that's going to change. Like, there are people that have like 70, 80,000 subscribers that consider themselves small YouTubers. So I don't know how things work in the eyes of LG. I'm hoping that Dan and I will both get one. If not, there's a very good chance I will buy one, depending on pricing. This thing is going to have to have good pricing. If it comes in at $1,400, I don't think people are going to buy it. It's going to have to be like $899.
That's what they're saying. And that is what they're saying the price is, $995. So
yeah, so
it's basically a Velvet with a rotating screen. I mean, that's
what it looks like. And
but it has no notch. Now, the only thing I don't like is, do you have to rotate the screen to have a selfie camera?
I mean, they can do that software-wise. They don't have to worry.
Where's the camera going to go?
I don't know. But the other thing, too, is LG is not really known for their inventiveness when it comes to software. So I hope that software is not the crutch of this device.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to have to be for certain apps to work this way. And the problem we may have with it is only LG apps are really going to work very well with it.
And the other thing, too, whenever it comes to the device, is I was just looking at my LG Velvet 2 days ago, and it's still on like a June security patch. Like, the thing hasn't been updated since it's come out. And as much as I like LG, and I've been hoping they've been getting better with getting their operating system upgrades out. Like, they're getting the OS updates out faster. Like, I expect them to have 11 probably the first part of 2021. I think they will, which is good for them. If we see it before 2021, that's absolutely amazing. But they are still not good with their security updates and getting patches out. So that's the other thing.
LG need to cut back on the crap and just give us updates. Instead of making duplicate apps that don't work anywhere near as good as the ones that Google provide you that are on the very same handset, just stop it. Stop it. Just put plain old Android on there and add your own little bits of flavor into it. But they won't, because they're catering mainly to the Korean market, which, they like all that bright colors and things like that. So that's the problem. I just wish they'd do what OnePlus did. Not do, but did. Where they had, was it Hydrogen OS in China that had bright colored apps and things like that. And then over here they had Oxygen OS, which was more pixel.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm hoping for better things. I'm hoping that they improve, but I mean, at this point, I'm just not really seeing a lot of amazing things that are coming out of it. So I think that the phone itself will be good. My guess is probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still running a Snapdragon 765. I mean, really wouldn't put it past me. I haven't looked at this at all, other than just some of the entertainment video clips.
I was reading it yesterday. It is an LG Velvet with a swivel screen.
Yeah,
that's basically the LG Velvet runs absolutely fine. It's great. So
got a couple of people showed up. Drew's here. Welcome, Drew.
Untethered Tech asked a good question because you wanted to talk about it. It's further up.
Oh, the RAZR. So here we go.
Have a nice catch line for that. Their advertisement says $13.99 coming fall. All they need to do is take one of those L's out and put an I in there, and you've got it perfect. $13.99.
You should make one of those commentary videos and do that for the thumbnail.
I shouldn't I?
That would be beautiful. Now here's my thing. As a Z Flip and a Z Flip 5G owner, I really like that form factor. I like it a lot. Of course, I didn't originally. I didn't think I was going to, but I ended up liking it a lot after I got one.
See, yeah. Always smile.
You know what's going on in my mind when I'm talking about this, but I got to address that. I did not think that I was going to like it. I ended up liking it a lot after I talked you out of it. So, but here's the thing. Motorola has done one thing really well, and that's that functional, really good screen on the outside of the clamshell. On the front of the phone, that right there would be kind of like the flip version of the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So Motorola has done it good there. The problem is they still, like, if you look at this, the what's powering it, and I don't want to get into that too much because, yes, thankfully they put the 765 in there up from like the 730. It's supposed to have, it might have a better camera now. The battery life is 2,800 milliamps. But with what they have in there, it should kind of get you through about the day. Mm-hmm. And they made some refinements to it, kind of like Samsung did with the Fold. They've made some things better. I think that had this come out last year, it would have been more competitive and it would have gotten less flack because a lot of people really looked at the Z Flip and looked at the RAZR and said, okay, this one looks more complete. This one looks not complete. So that's good. They lowered the price. That's also good. They made it unlocked. You can put a SIM in it now, and
you lower the price. It's $50 cheaper than a Z Flip 2.
Yeah, no, I'm saying though the last one was $14.99, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's $100 cheaper, but
so I'm saying they made it better. They knocked some of the price off, but the thing is people still don't want to pay that much for that technology. Like, it's cool.
An $800 phone.
I'm glad they're doing it. But they've got to bring the price down to make it more widely adopted. There's not enough people that care about RAZR that much to go out and buy one. It's funny. I was talking to David Kogan earlier, and I asked him if he'd got the Motorola RAZR because he had posted something about the specs and the release, but he didn't do the video, and he didn't get one from what he was telling me. But I was telling him, I said, it's funny. When the original RAZR came out, I couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. Like back then it was like a $500-$600 phone. And we're talking back in the mid 2000s. That was a lot of money for a phone back then. And you couldn't get it for free with your 2-year upgrade on contract, none of that stuff. So it was expensive. And I told him, I said, it's funny now that it was too expensive for me. I couldn't afford it then. And now it's just too much for me to want to buy it. So
really, it's on sale for $1,250, the Z Flip 5G.
It is on sale. Yeah. Well, no. I don't think it's on sale. What it is somebody posted a screenshot earlier. They'll knock $200 off at Best Buy with activation.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like you can go to Samsung's website and get it for $12. Yeah, it's Best Buy, unless you know something I don't.
See how much it is through my SoFi.
Hey, Gary, Scott. Oh, welcome, Scott. You're still ugly. Thank you for showing up.
Scott's lighting was on point tonight, though.
Yeah, so Scott got some new lighting. Once you're done here, don't leave right now because our show is more important than his. But when we're done here, go click on his and watch it for 45 seconds just so you can appreciate the lighting.
But ignore the sound, because the sound for the first 10 minutes was like,
Okay, so go to Scott's video after this, fast forward it to like the 15-minute mark, appreciate the lighting, call him ugly, tell him I sent you, and then, leave. And that's all you have to do. But I think he had a good show over there. I don't know. I had to get ready for my show. So I was actually, I wanted to get on there, and I meant to go visit for a little bit with Scott on his show. But I went and I bought.
I carry you most of the time. I was there from 8 o'clock, so okay.
I usually am there, at least for 10, 15 minutes anyway. But I got this DJI OM4, and it seems to be the best one that they've made so far, at least, but it still has problems. And it says that it will work with the Note 20 Ultra.
Mm-hmm. Wait till you put it on there and it's too heavy.
Exactly. And I wanted to use this with my Note 20 Ultra. It says that it's compatible. It's still too heavy. Not only is it too heavy, but because it squeezes the sides, it messed up my screen protector. So my screen protector got messed up, and then the sucker is cockeyed, like it hangs down. It's not strong enough to raise it into the upright position. So I think the only way your Note 20 Ultra will actually work with it is if you put this little ring on the back that requires you to basically adhese it to the back of your phone, because with the case and the other part, it's too heavy for the DJI to actually lift it. So I'm probably going to take it back because I only wanted to use it with my Note.
What did I say? As soon as you put it up, bang, you man.
This is something we run into. It's something we run into every year. They come out with a new one of these every year or so, and then they still don't work because the phones get bigger and bigger each year. So they keep making it bigger, but they're always slightly behind the technology curve. So it irritates me that they say that it works with the Note 20 Ultra. I mean, the interface works good. I mean, it seems like it's okay. I messed around with it with my Pixel 4a a little bit. Works beautifully with that. Works with the Velvet. Works with the iPhone 11. It just, the Note 20 Ultra is too big, and that's what I use to record with. So I'm very frustrated because I wanted to use this to go out in the field behind my house so I could test it out. I wanted to get some good footage of that drone that I'm reviewing. So it's a disappointment. It's well priced. The interface is good though. The app seems to be all right. So I'm not going to, if you don't use a Note 20 Ultra or an S20 Ultra or maybe an iPhone 11 Pro Max, you can probably use it and it'll be great for you. And also thank you, Gabriel, for the super chat. I certainly appreciate that. Yeah, so today, I am a little frustrated. I wish this thing would show up on Periscope. Is it supposed to be? Well, maybe this is the problem.
Yeah, you.
I mean, I could be the problem. I'm just going to hit save.
This
No,
is
it's live.
if
It
this
says
was
it's live on
a
Periscope.
G show, I'd tell you what UFU stands for, but use your imagination.
It says
The
it's
first word
live on
is
Periscope.
The last word is up. All right, and the middle one is
You're going to start speaking Pig Latin?
pick UFU. It's a UFU. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so I don't know. I paid to upgrade the service today. You can see we don't have the StreamYard logo up there anymore, which is nice. We don't have the stupid duck anymore. So the stupid duck is gone. We can have more, up to 10 people now. I didn't pay because it's expensive. It's $25 a month if you pay monthly, or it's like $20 a month if you pay for the whole year up front, as opposed to the free service. So I figure we do this every Wednesday. I do it on Friday night as well. I mean, it's kind of worth the investment, I suppose. We'll see how that works out. It's not like we really make much money from the whole live stream thing. So it's not really geared towards that, but yeah, it looks more professional. And I actually have an interview coming up next week, which is going to be cool. So I'll tell more about that later. But yeah, some good things on the horizon. Hello, Bogdan. Welcome for showing up. And yeah, here's Michael Peppertech. This is the thing with the RAZR for me. This is the most appealing thing, and I'm glad that they finally got. It seems like the software implementations are a lot better. I remember the original Mr. Mobile video, and he was like, "Yeah, this could use some improvement. This can use some improvement. This is but he's all about the RAZR for whatever reason. So I did watch his video today, and he was much more high praises on his initial impressions of the new RAZR 5G. But yeah, that outer screen is a big deal, and I wish that it were there. But here's the thing. I still don't know how much it would get used, though, because I've got my LG Fold. I've got my Samsung Fold, and the outer screen, the 4.6 inches, nice, but it's still narrow. I mean, I don't have the largest hands or thumbs in the world, and I still can't use it real comfortably, especially with typing. It's not the greatest. So with the Z Fold 2, I'm sure that it's a much improved experience. But yeah,
so I'm talking to somebody more important. Just so
Are you texting Scott right now while we're on the show?
I said more important, so possibly.
So yeah, I like that outer screen aspect of it. But I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes.
That's the only saving grace for that phone is that outer screen and the Moto Actions, Moto software. And Google didn't keep that when they sold Motorola and stripped that from it as well, because we all know they bought Motorola to rape the patents from them. So they should have just took that while they were at it.
They did, and then they sold, and then sold to Lenovo.
Yeah, but it was a bare like shell of a company, but they left one of the main things that made a Motorola phone good, like the Moto X and things like that. They left that behind. It's like, why did you do that, you idiots?
Yeah, the wrist turning and the chopping for the flashlight. You've got all those.
Shut up, Michael Pepper. All right. So I will be over there, and I will take your oversized head, and I will ram it up Adam's butt cheeks. Do you understand me?
Don't tempt me with a good time.
I know, right? No lube required, boys.
I'm thinking Adam having. I don't know what UFU error is. You're gonna have to elaborate on that, Dave. But yeah, so lots of interesting things, and of course there were the leaks today.
Where have you been, Dave?
I
wonder where Dave's been.
I don't know, but
where's your mate? I need a drink. I'll be right back. Look at my shaving rash, everybody. Ooh, 44 going on 14.
Doesn't know how to use a razor. Nope. Yeah, so while he goes off and we get a few moments of peace while he's away from the show right now, for real, I need to fire him and find somebody else. This is getting a little ridiculous. Shows up late, gets up in the middle of the show to go get food. He's not getting a drink. Don't let him fool you. He's probably got a ham sandwich in the freezer or the refrigerator that is shoving down his throat right now. But yeah, lots of interesting things. I do like that with the RAZR. We'll see what happens with that. If they can drop the price on it, like that, really, to me, sometimes they artificially inflate prices in hopes that somebody will actually pay that. And if somebody pays it, then that's fine. I mean, if it's worth that much to them, I think that this, when it comes to T-Mobile, they're going to have to do a sale.
It's on Amazon.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, well, I saw today on Best Buy that there was a $200 off with the
actually like a ham sandwich, actually. I heard you. My kitchen's 10 feet that way. Heard every word thing you said, you homeless-looking, trolley-pushing.
Hey, don't even hate. You know, I actually got a beard straightener. I straightened my beard out a little bit today.
I know it didn't work very well. It still looks like pubes.
There we go.
It's like your ball sack. Anyway.
Anyway, the post is too. Yeah, hashtag ham sandwich.
2 ham sandwiches. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And if that's the case, that's going to make me kind of irritated because I paid $14.49 for mine just a month ago.
I think it's great.
Which, I mean, they do that all the time anyway. That's the nature of Samsung phones. That's the nature of most phones, other than iPhone. As soon as the initial sale stuff goes away, like the initial pre-order, all that stuff, within 3 to 4 weeks, it always drops down. So, yeah, I'm still waiting for Adam to put this awesome studio that he talked about. Well, I'm using it right now, so I don't really know what the inference is there, but screw you, Michael.
Look at Michael Pepper. He's getting a bit.
He's getting testy.
Yeah.
Let's put him in timeout. I'll hit the little button that won't let him talk for a few minutes.
Like, I won't even use rubber gloves.
There you go. So, yeah, the other thing on the horizon, of course, it was funny. Funny to some people, disappointing to some other people. I know that John Prosser and whoever that other guy is, we're all talking about the new iPhone coming out. So, $12.49. That's a good deal. Yeah, I may call Samsung support tomorrow and be like, "You dirty rats," and see if they'll give me money off.
Well, it's not Samsung themselves, though. It's probably something that Amazon are doing as a loss leader right now.
Probably. Actually, make sure we talk about this. I want to talk about the Duo because, of course, the Duo mine's shipping right now, I think. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do want to talk about the whole iPhone situation. So I think what's his name? Mark Gurman. Is he the other Apple?
Yeah, the main leaker.
Yeah, so Mark Gurman and John Prosser were both like, we got a bit, there's going to be an Apple event, going to be an Apple event, and they weren't wrong that there was an announcement because there was an announcement yesterday, but the Apple event is actually, it's on the 15th. It's next week.
Is it 15th?
Something like that.
That's right, yeah.
14th, 15th, whatever. And I think
you know what? They've been sneaky there, Apple. I am sure they've done this. Somebody even typed it on Twitter, and I was going to put it
the leakers.
Yes, they have just found out who the source is.
They probably have. It's just like, and you see like those spy movies, and they give one set of codes to one of them, they give one set to the other ones, and they find out. So maybe they did. We'll see like we'll see like a thing on the Apple headline: so and so fired in the next couple of days, so and so let go. Yeah. But the other implication behind this is though, and whether you like leaks, whether you don't like leaks, if they do find out who these moles are inside the company, that's going to drastically cut down on the leaks. And then it's going to lock things down some, because then people are going to be more afraid to leak things, because then they might.
I don't mind a couple like EV leaks. Evan Blass. I don't mind him. He does it without splurging everything. He'll show you what the phone looks like beforehand. I like EV leaks.
I'm mostly fine with that stuff.
I don't like ruining the party though. Phones are not exciting anymore for that reason. They ruin the party.
I've said that before. It's like, I want to have some sort of excitement the day that they come out. And it's like, you know everything already. There might be like one small little thing you don't know about. It's like, I try to keep myself as blind to these things as possible, especially when it comes to Apple. So whenever the launch day comes around, I can actually enjoy, be like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Leave some surprises. And that's what Evan Blass was always good at. He would show you what the device is going to look like, or one of the prototypes maybe, and that'd get you hyped up for it a little bit, because you wouldn't know anything else. And then you'd watch the show and they'd show you, yeah, Evan was right, this is what it looks like, but then they'd surprise you with what the phone can do, it can't do, specs and everything else. It was great.
It's important to have some leaks because it builds excitement. It's like watching a good movie trailer. A good movie trailer gives you just enough to get you hooked to where you're excited about watching it, but it doesn't give the story away. And
it's like watching Baywatch, lads.
Sure. But either way, yeah.
I mean, come on now. Back in the day, Pamela Anderson with those, they weren't all of them.
She had a very appreciable personality.
That's right. Stunning.
So I was a fan. I used to watch the show.
For David Hasselhoff, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. He was a good actor. I mean, he sang. He was a night writer.
According to Germany. They love him.
Also, let me say thanks real quick to Arthur Balordos. I appreciate the super chat there as well. Yes, very excited about the BlackBerry 5G coming in 2021. And since we're on the topic, I got confirmation today. I am actually doing an interview with the CEO of the new Onward Mobility next week. So on the 16th. So it might not be out that day. I'm supposed to. I've already sent over a bunch of questions, and we're supposed to get in contact and talk. But I'm doing a formal video interview with the. I think his name's Peter something. Let me see.
Oh, while he's seeing, sometime next week, and maybe Adam.
Peter Franklin.
Adam into it. Try to get Adam on it as well. But if you like Soundcore stuff, I'm going to be on their live stream next week.
Oh, yeah, I did that a little while back, and it's fun, and especially if y'all are going to have like 10 people, and they're going to be doing this giveaway thing, then giving stuff away the whole time. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And, of course, I'm sure some other big-name audio guys are going to be on there. I'm sure they'll probably get like El Jefe. I'm sure they'll probably have maybe Travis or I don't know who all is going to be on there, but that whole Soundcore thing that they're doing is cool. And the other thing is my guess is very soon we'll start hearing some excitement about the new Soundcore products, because we're coming up on a year. Now, I took the Liberty 2s, I want to say in November. So
they are a year old. The Liberty 2s actually came out in, I want to say, June originally.
Yes, to poets, they still make BlackBerry. Now,
well, they don't.
They haven't made one since 2018. They're making one right now.
Yeah.
So it will be available the first half of 2021.
I think BlackBerry is going to come out and wow a lot of people. I've just got a funny feeling that it's not.
People are going to buy this. Like people that, if you're a BlackBerry fan, whether it's a crappy phone or a good phone, people are going to buy it. But this one,
in BlackBerry bold kind of way,
maybe, and that's the thing. There's so much speculation out there right now. Is it going to be a smaller form factor? Is it going to be a really large form factor? Is it going to be like the Passport? Is it going to? There are so many things out there, but what we know is it's going to be 5G. So we know it's going to at least have a Snapdragon 765. I don't think it's going to have an 8. I don't think it's going to have an 8 series.
There's no need for a BlackBerry anyway.
And the thing is BlackBerries are supposed to last you all day. This thing is going to have a minimum 4,000 milliamp battery, probably 4,500, and it's going to have ideally a Snapdragon 765. Those are like two things you can't compromise on. That right there will get you all the way through the day. They're saying it's going to have a good camera. I'm really hoping they work with somebody good, and this might be a good time because the guy that did the Pixel camera left, and he's making that his own camera app now. So if
it's not his own.
It's with Adobe, isn't it?
They're bringing their own out for mass use.
But here, you can just download that though and pay whatever the $2-3 is, and you're going to have a much better camera experience. So I think there's going to be I think this phone's going to just surprise a lot of people, and I think people will be willing to pay a little bit more money for it to get the better quality product. Because if you look at what's out there right now, minimum to get a flagship phone is basically $1,000 now. I mean, you look at the OnePlus 8 Pro, you look at the Samsung Galaxy S20 series, you look at the Note 20, you look at they're all $1,000 now. So if BlackBerry makes a really good phone and charges like $750 for it, a lot more people I think would buy it now than did 2 years ago.
I'd definitely like to see a BlackBerry Bold again. Or was it the 9510, the last one they did like that? I can't remember what was it, 9550. The silver version with the full keyboard and the rollerball on it before the smartphone. I'd love to see a full-on version of one of them brought back. I think that would do really well. One, you got the nostalgia like the RAZR had, so that'll give it a leg straight away. And two, with today's technology, if they can hammer the keyboard down and put a good screen on it, people who use BlackBerries don't use BlackBerries to watch YouTube. They don't use BlackBerries to play games. So it could be a brilliant commercial device. Really could be. Everybody had BlackBerries. If you was at work, a BlackBerry was the way to go. If they can bring that kind of thing back with up-to-date specs, I'd be in for. Definitely.
You know how excited people used to be to get them though? Like if you a status symbol, like you were finally a manager, you finally made it. Like once you got issued a BlackBerry, you were a big deal. And you
before the iPhone, the BlackBerry was the status symbol. If you had a BlackBerry, you were the boss back then, back in work.
People didn't care. People didn't start complaining about getting issued a BlackBerry until the iPhone started coming out and started getting issues, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want this thing. I don't want this thing. I can just text." I mean, people liked it when they were cool, but then once the iPhone kind of came on the scene, people were like, "I don't want a BlackBerry. I want an iPhone." So there are still enough people around, and I think 2021 right now is the best time for this to go ahead and happen, because clearly there were problems with TCL, with the BlackBerry Mobile, with their strategy that they had, the quality assurance. Quality control wasn't there. The devices were I think if they come out and they make something that's not compromised, that's not handicapped, and you get a full Android experience, plus you get great security and you get a great keyboard. Yeah, I love that phone.
If they came out with that, but with a slightly different form factor with no bezels on the screen, made the screen a little bigger, I would buy that all day.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do something like that. I really want them to make something that looks like a...
Absolutely. Bring the Passport back. That was such a nice looking phone.
Yeah, that, or I would really like to see something that looks like the Bold or the Classic, but just slightly bigger.
Yeah.
And then, I would be totally amazingly happy with that. I mean, I posted a picture of my Q10 earlier. And I was like, man, I would love, if this worked today with Android and updated specs, I'd be using it. I don't even care it has a 3.1-inch screen. It was just a really good phone. Mm-hmm. The problem that where BlackBerry has even started to lose me a little bit, it's BlackBerry has always been a communications device. The problem is in 2020, nobody texts anymore. Everybody uses WhatsApp. They use Viber. They use, what else do they use out there? They use Twitter. They use Instagram. They use Facebook Messenger. There's all these different software app-based communication platforms. If everybody still texts, then I would 100% have no problems with even using a more dated BlackBerry. But the thing is I can't use Slack. I can't use Twitter. I can't use all these different communications platforms. And if you're going to be supposedly the best when it comes to communications and productivity, and you can't communicate with everybody, you can't use Signal, you can't use Telegram, you can't use any of these different services, you're going to lose 100% of the time. So like you said, most people don't care. Most core BlackBerry users just want to be able to use the device and communicate. So if you can do all of that, you're not going to have a problem. And
that's why BlackBerry Messenger was so successful, especially in Europe, and it lasted a lot longer in Europe than what it did over here. It was the #1 messaging service in Europe for a long time. Yeah.
Basically, you've got iMessage now. We had BlackBerry Messenger before then, and things are cyclical. Like you see, one of the things that made people stick with BlackBerry for a long time was BlackBerry Messenger, because you could use it without having a phone connection. It was secured. It had all sorts of great things. So that allowed so much to go on. But then it's like, well, BlackBerry Messenger kind of started to fade away in favor of these other platforms. They lost that edge. It wasn't unique to BlackBerry anymore because they put it on Apple and on Android as well. And that's a lesson for Apple. If they ever put iMessage on an Android phone,
it's never ever going to happen.
No,
these people who say, "Hey, yeah, they're going to bring it out this year," or there's rumor of it,
they will start losing people.
Yeah, it's a lie. Why would anyone? If I worked at Apple, and I say it over and over again, that everybody I would speak to, 9 times out of 10, the only people that bought iPhones bought them because iMessage, FaceTime. If it didn't have them, they wouldn't buy an iPhone. So,
yeah, it keeps people locked in too. So if you can get a $200 iPhone, I mean, if you can get a $200 Android and spend $1 a month or $2 a month to use iMessage, that would be great. Nobody would be buying $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. I mean, yeah, people still buy them, but they would lose a lot of people because those services.
The casuals, not the Apple. I'm deep in Apple's ecosystem. They'd lose the people who don't really care about the ecosystem and don't buy apps and things like that. So
the Apple services really lock people into the platform. I mean, it's just what it is. All right, the last thing I want to talk about.
Just let me mention this quick. Go. Gateway. I saw that a new Gateway laptop at Walmart. Gateway has come back. Did you see the specs on that thing? It is so good value for what it is. It's amazing value. It's got like a 10th gen i5 in it, 8 gig of RAM, and an SSD, and it was like $499.
Maybe I'll reach out to them. I've been wanting to review a laptop.
I was shocked to see Gateway.
I remember Gateway and Dell were like back in the day.
Like computers back in the day, yeah.
Well, they brought something that was really unique, and it worked well for them. See, back then you could get a Toshiba or an IBM, but you had to pay $1,000, $1,500. You had to pay cash up front. They didn't have financing. The laptop companies, Gateway and Dell, are what created the models we have now for product financing because they were so expensive. You could get a Dell or a Gateway and pay $39 a month. They'd be paying on it for 3 or 4 years, but that's what they allowed you to do. That's what got computers into people's hands.
They're such good. When you look, I'm gonna have to go and look again later. There you go. AMD and Intel models starting at $499, but what you get for $499 is crazy. I mean, it's not got the crappy 768 screens like a lot of computers do at that price.
13,
15.6 inch screen with a 1368 by 7 whatever number it is. But no, it's got a full HD display and 10th gen, and it's just a really good. I don't know who makes them because obviously it's not Gateway anymore. They're doing like BlackBerry do. They're licensing the name out, obviously. So, and
that's fine as long as it's a good product. I mean, if the product lives up to the spirit of what it was. But here's the one nice thing. So I got some more details today with regard to BlackBerry. So basically, FIH, which is Foxconn, is the one that's designing this from the ground up. What they're doing is operating under strict control measures, because before BlackBerry used to make their own devices, like everything. Like that's why they were so secured. The hardware, the software, everything was all one secure package. So if you lose that integrity component of the whole setup and allow things to be put in there that can't be controlled, that might have malware, ways to exploit them, like that, you have to be selective with the hardware when you build these things from the ground up. So FIH is building this thing from the ground up, and basically, Onward Mobility is the marketing, the face arm of them here. They're the ones that are bringing it to market, but FIH is the one that's making it under basically strict supervision and controls from BlackBerry.
I think it might be okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come with. I really am. I think that's a wild guess either. That's the thing. I couldn't say, they're going to go this way with it. They're going to. I have no idea what they're going to come with. They can't come with what TCL did because what TCL did wasn't successful. So
I'm trying Like, it's really hard. And here's the thing. They are not using a keyboard that BlackBerry already has used. They're creating a new keyboard. So does that mean that we're going to get the touch-sensitive keyboard? I actually didn't like the touch-sensitive keyboard, so I don't care. Some people like that. I think that it's just a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, some people love it, and I'm not going to ding them for that. But it's going to have a brand new keyboard. It's not using an exact copy of one they used before. So there's going to be some invention that goes on there. And that right there tells me that it's not going to be a form factor that they've already used. It might be very similar, and they might do some things very similar to it, but it's not going to be one that they pull off the shelf that they've already used before. So that's just another thing that goes into it. But I think it's going to be exciting. Maybe I can get some more tidbits of information from Peter when I talk to him next week. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited about that. And yeah, so I want to talk about the Duo for a minute because the Duo is coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow's the
Duo shipped.
It said earlier that the label had been generated and that it was scheduled for delivery by 8 o'clock tomorrow. So
you'll get it tomorrow then. FedEx.
Yeah, and the thing is, I was talking to another buddy of mine, and apparently Microsoft is notorious about doing this last-minute overnight thing, which is ridiculous to me because why pay $50 for shipping when you could put it in the mail 2 days ago?
Samsung do the same.
It's so stupid. It's like, why would you pay your charge?
You got to remember the amount of things they ship. They'll have a contract with these companies.
No, it's not $60 or $40 like you or I would pay, but at the same time,
pay what we pay for first class. It'll be peanuts compared to what we have to pay.
It's a very bad way. I mean, it's a very inefficient way to do business. I mean, if you look at it, and you could do it much cheaper.
Coming from when I was in England and my son working at Amazon and that, it actually costs more to have that pallet of phones sat there 2 days in advance and then start doing that instead of just having them send them out that day.
So you gotta lease a lot of secure floor space somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I think that's the main reason they do it.
But somebody had said something a minute ago, and I'm actually really curious. You and I know, and everybody else knows, remember the unboxings and first impressions last week that were just, I unboxed it and I took it out and I can't turn the screen on?
Mm-hmm.
Now people tomorrow will finally start to be able to talk about it. So I'm curious what the real world impressions of a lot of these guys are going to be whenever it comes out. I mean, I know I'll have mine. I mean, I'll have my first impressions and stuff, but I'm curious to see what other people have to say because there's been a lot of hype surrounding this device. I mean, you look back as far as when they announced it a year ago and we're like, wow, this isn't going to come out for a year. Look at these specs. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation about this phone, good, bad, and ugly for the last year. And then we thought it was going to come out in April. That didn't happen. And then they finally, is it going to come out? It's going to come out. And all of a sudden, bam, it's going to come out, on September the 10th. So it's very, very interesting to me, with the way they've done things with this device. I'm curious to see what people have to say tomorrow.
I'm just kind of getting a bit FOMO, let's say.
So I don't know how much you're going to be missing out, though, because here's the thing.
That's why I've not done it, because I know you're getting it, so I'll know tomorrow.
50 reviewers got this device. That is a very low number. And I haven't seen a lot of conversation from people who didn't get one as a review unit.
Yeah.
So there's been very little traffic on it. And on top of that, how many people who are reviewers are going to go out and buy this just to test it out that don't really want it? Like, I think a lot of people, this is not like a Note, or doesn't have the exotic appeal that a Fold does or a Z Flip. I mean, and it's a high dollar item. We're talking a $1,400 phone. I don't think there's going to be a lot of grassroots tech people like you and I who are going to have one of these.
I fear for the Duo. My experience when I had that hands-on, I know it looked good for you and it worked well for you, and I've seen it work well for some others, and I've seen it janky on some others. I don't think it's going to be all that.
Well, I bought mine specifically from Microsoft because Microsoft actually has a 60-day return policy for this phone. Yeah. So if you buy it from Best Buy, cancel it and get it from Microsoft because you only get 14 days with Best Buy and you have like a $45 restocking fee. Mm-hmm. If you get it through Microsoft, you get 2 months, 60 days, and there's no return fee. So I'm not buying this with the anticipation of returning it. But my thing is, what Dan is alluding to is there have been a lot of people that have speculated the software is not going to be ready for day one, which is why they're giving you a longer return period so you can give them a little bit to get it up to speed where it's supposed to be. Now, having used it briefly in the store the other day, I wasn't unimpressed with it, but I can't say that I was totally impressed. And what's funny to me, I have had some like seriously negative comments of people about my impressions of that phone, mainly because I said it didn't feel premium. But I never said it didn't feel bad. I never said it didn't feel like it was quality. I didn't say that it didn't seem like it was well made and there's some good engineering that's gone into it. But when you pick up a Fold, when you pick up a Z Flip, when you pick up other phones that are over $1,000, they really feel real quality. Like they feel like they're heavy, they're premium feeling, they're like the nice even weight distribution. You look at them, they look. It's a Surface device that is used as a phone, and it's not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like it's made out of cheap stuff. It just doesn't have that same $1,000, $1,400 sheen to it.
I'm worried about it. I really am. I got a sneaking feeling, and what put me off was exactly what they did, thinking they were building hype for it, sending these phones out to people, but not allowing them to turn it on camera.
They may have thought they were pulling a fast one, and I think they did. And I think maybe they hedged their bets with people who are not tech people. Like if you're like an enterprise person or a business guy, you might not have thought twice when you saw one of those videos and noticed that there was no actual, hey, why didn't they turn it on? But someone like you or me, or with an educated eye, when it comes to unboxing videos, we're like, why didn't anybody turn this thing on? So
yeah, what's wrong with it? So
yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think for what they did, it may have generated like enough hype for some people. But at the end of the day, this is not something that's marketed towards somebody who's just going to walk in off the street and buy one. They're trying to put this out there as an enterprise communications device that is also a phone. And that's what I've been trying to use in my terminology when I talk about it. It's a communications device. Don't think of it as a smartphone. It's a communications device that has smartphone features. So if you think about it that way, it does make a little bit more sense. But the thing is that frustrates me. It's still running on Android, the mobile operating system. I was talking to my wife. I'm like, you know what? I could lay in bed and do my work on this if I wanted to, theoretically. Yeah, I would sit there. It's like a small computer. But then it's like, okay, what if I need to go to a website and I still can't get full desktop support because it's still Android based?
But are they using their own Edge browser?
They are.
So it'll probably give you full desktop.
And I'm hoping it will. If it gives me full desktop, it's really going to make me a lot happier because that's what this needs to be.
You can't have a mobile platform on this. They've shown that mobile platform and anything to do with Windows, other than the Surface, which is full-blown Windows, any mobile Windows doesn't work. So
yes, hopefully with the way that they worked hand in hand with Microsoft on this, it will function essentially like a desktop. I hope. I just don't know. I don't know that much from the limited time I got to use it. Mine will be here soon. I will answer these questions, of course, as I do my review. I'm not overly worried about it. I don't think it's going to get resounding like glorification from the tech community, though. Like whenever the embargo drops and people put out their videos on this, I think that you're going to have a lot of people who are straining hard to say nice things, but not say that it's a dumpster fire.
I guarantee you a lot of people will be like, damn bezels, though.
Ooh. Yeah, and there's no excuse for that. I mean, in 2020, and it's not foldable display technology, it's two separate screens. Why does it have iPhone 4 style bezels on it?
Yes.
So there are some questionable things. And I've had some people like, oh, it's a marvel of engineering. You just don't appreciate the engineering. That's some like
the hinge. Yes. I'm fine with the hinge. Yeah, absolutely. But it's also got a really small battery in it because they wanted to make it so thin. It's just.
Yeah, there are a lot of things about it that are, I think, cool. And there's a lot of things that make you go, especially at the $1,400 price point. Now, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting it. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see
I'll tell you right now, if I had $1,400, I'd buy that over the Moto RAZR 2 every day of the week.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would do the same thing. I mean, I have done that. I'm not buying the RAZR 2, but the
RAZR, you're right. And this is my problem with Android tablets, and that's my worry with the Tab S7 Plus that I'm getting. is it still dumpster fire when it comes to tablet apps?
No, I use mine all the time. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not as good as iPad OS, but One UI 2.5 is significant. Once they've switched over to One UI and you've got Dex, laptop mode on them is actually nice. The only problem I had when it first came out was it was a little too buggy. Like it crashed on me a few times, but it's gotten better. And that's one reason I went ahead and I got the keyboard case with my Tab S7 Plus, because I want to try using it as a laptop again, because
I got that.
It's got the power. It's got the power under the
65 plus in that, and then 120 hertz OLED display. That thing's going to be superb.
Yeah. So I think that the problem is, though, is certain things, like if you're an iPad user and you like using like LumaFusion, I need them to bring something like that to Android. Like if you could bring LumaFusion over to Android.
LumaFusion have spoke about that if they were going to bring it to any other device, they would bring it to Android. So there's chance, but the problem is it's so fragmented, Android, with specs, it's going to be tough. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be all right, though. I'm really looking forward to the Tab S7 Plus. Like I said, I use my Tab S6 all the time now, and I saw something that Jimmy's promo put out the other day with the words and numbers don't always do things justice, because we talk about the Tab S6 has got, what, a 10.4 inch, 10.5 inch screen. The 12.4 or whatever it is with the S7 Plus makes it look like this screen dwarfs the S6. Yeah. Like you put them side by side, and that 2 inches that you have there, that's really when you just say, oh, it's 2 inches bigger screen, it looks substantially larger.
It's the same with the iPad. You go from an 11-inch iPad Pro to a 12.9. The difference is massive, and that's why I didn't go for a regular S7 tab. I went with the S7 Plus because I wanted the extra real estate. There is a major difference between, it doesn't sound a lot, but there is a mega difference between a 10.5 and a 12.4. It's huge.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I got the keyboard coming with it with the little flap on the back, and then I got the controller for $30. It ended up costing
I want the controller. I really want to try that out. I'm waiting. I don't know if it's available, but I'm waiting for that Xbox Cloud Service thing.
It's available. I've got it on my note. Have you not seen it?
Oh, it's available now? I checked like 2 or 3 weeks ago, or whenever it first came out, and it wasn't there yet. I've been wanting to use it.
Hold on. Let's have a look here.
Can you connect a regular Xbox controller to a phone?
Yeah. Wow.
What's that app called?
xCloud. It may be still in preview. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, there's your game.
Yeah, it's in preview. Yeah, I got the preview. You can't play anything yet.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. I've been playing Ace Combat 2 on it. Look, let's jump back in. Oh, I've got to connect a controller. I've not connected a controller. I was playing the new Ace Combat, and Forza 7's on there, and Forza Horizon. They're all on there.
Well, whenever it said preview when I got it, I thought that meant that you couldn't use it yet. So I'm gonna check that out later, because I really want to play that, and that's gonna be nice on the Tab as well.
And that's why I got the Tab S7 over the Fold 2.
There's going to be a lot of nice things that this brings to the table. I think you're going to like it. When you use this Tab S7 Plus, you're going to completely change the way you look at Android tablets made by Samsung versus ones across the board. Like if you pick up a Lenovo tablet, you pick up some of these other garbage ones, all they are is just a cheap way to get a tablet experience in your kids' hands. Samsung Tab, like the Tab, ever since the Tab S6 and now the Tab S7,
they're serious.
They are serious. It's serious hardware, serious power.
They sold me on that. They really. I sold a 2020 512 gigabyte 12.9 iPad Pro because I wanted it. They sold me on the S7 Plus. Really did. I mean, people will be like, "Why did you do that?" But it just looks so good. I can't help it. It looks great. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, they're going to get here on like the 20th or something like that.
Part of mine's already shipped. I'm hoping it's the tablet. So I've got a package coming. Have you got any packages in FedEx weighing about £8?
No, the tablets haven't shipped yet. The tablets aren't supposed to be available until I think like the 20th. Let me look on my Samsung app real quick.
Maybe it's one of the accessories that are coming.
Yeah, it's got to be the accessory. They're probably ship your controller is what it is.
Yeah, probably. But then I've got another thing in FedEx that's £8.8.
That is
I have no idea what it is. And it doesn't say who it's from. Like just gives me a number, a reference number.
You know what? I I should have, after these purchases go through, I should have a lot of rewards points. I may just be able to buy one of those controllers. I really want one of those controllers.
Like I say, I could probably buy it through my SoFi because it was only $30 through there. It was half price.
Right, here we go. So mine, it just says order received. It says ships by the 18th.
Let's see what mine says.
So yes, I should have it the 19th or the 18th or whatever it is then.
Let me log in.
I'm really looking forward to it though. There's like some compelling reasons when you look at the Samsung environment now, other than just it being an Android phone. I mean, they're putting some compelling reasons into actually going out and buying some of their flagship stuff.
Yeah.
Other than just because it's the best that Android has to offer in the United States.
My Tab S6 will be here tomorrow. My Cloud Blue Tab S6 that I bought for, I think it was $368. Looking at it.
Yeah, I'll play with that for a few days. You'll enjoy it.
That's why I bought it. It's a loaner. I bought it from Samsung for $368, and Samsung are now going to give me $450 back for it. I mean, really?
I paid like $460 or $470 for mine, like open box at Best Buy, and I'm getting $450 for mine. So since I was basically getting like $15 less than what I paid for it, I don't have any heartburn over that.
Yeah, I just made money on mine. That was all. It was like because I played the game.
It made it justifiable enough for me to go ahead and get one. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Duo. Just a lot of crazy stuff. And then we got the iPhone stuff next week. I'll kind of be glad. Like, I've been so busy lately with all these new products, all this new crap coming out, all the things that I've been doing. I'm ready for like things to slow down a little bit before we get into the holidays, which is not too far around the corner. We're already
going to. I don't think that's the problem.
Well, I mean, what do we have? I mean, the iPhone's gonna come out in October, but once the iPhone launches in the second,
and the iPads as well. You got the iPads that are also going to come out. There's going to be a new, cheaper iPad again. The iPad Air is going to end up being this iPad Pro from 2018. Looks like it's technically now the new iPad Air. Then you've got LG throwing stuff in. Then you're probably going to have the Pixels. You've got the two Pixels that are still to come. What else is there? There's a lot coming in September, October. And then on top of that, if we're doing audio, Soundcore. I mean, if Soundcore are going to start throwing things out, we're going to start all that again. Sony, I believe, are going to be bringing out the XM4s. I don't know whether they're going to make it before 21, but from what I'm being...
Yeah, this right here, and I said this earlier, expensive couple of months.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And of course, they announced today the new Xboxes with the pricing on those and pre-orders on that on the 22nd.
I know we're well over time, but let me just spend a few minutes on that.
Go for it.
That Xbox Series S. There's a lot of content creators on YouTube right now.
People are missing the mark on that device.
On Twitter. They are absolutely wrong in what they're telling you. If you're reading them saying, oh, it's a crapper, it's going to be so slow, it's going to be able to play the games the way the X does. It is. It's going to play the games at the same frame rates, except you're going to get 4K and a bit of a higher, maybe a few higher textures on the X, but the S is going to play them exactly the same in 1080p or 1440p. People forget that the 3 times of the teraflops, it needs that to play 4K 60 in the big machine. A 1080 doesn't need that at all.
And a lot of people still aren't using 4K. So
that's it. The $299 Xbox One Series S, whatever it's called, is a bargain. It really is. If you've only got a 1440p monitor or less, don't buy the X. Go and spend $300. You're still going to get RTX. It's running the same CPU. It's slightly clocked a little bit slower, like 0.2.
It's not a big difference.
Not very big. It's got less video RAM and slower video RAM. Yes, but again, it doesn't need all that because it's running at a much lower resolution. So all these people out there telling you that this Series S is junk, you know that they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't. It's a fact. They do not.
It's also amazing. You look at, so we're talking about the Series X here. We're talking about a $499 console that has RTX support, and you're going to be able to run 4K, guaranteed 60 frames per second. I have like a $1,800 PC that you need to run that. In addition to
teraflop GPU, and it's I mean, that alone in PC world costs you more than $499.
I've got a Ryzen 7. It's a Gen 2, but I got a Ryzen 7. I got 16 gigabytes of RAM. I got a 4K monitor, and I got a RTX 2080 Super. And that 2080 Super cost me $800 back in like May. And all of that, I mean, my computer was like, $1,000. So you basically need like a $1,600 computer to get the same performance you're getting in a $499 console that you just have to plug it into your TV that you already have. And you don't have, because the thing is, if you want to play 4K, you got to go buy a 4K monitor. And hey, 4K monitors, they ain't cheap.
No. And then the other thing about the Series S with the Series X, everyone's going on, you're going to get no loading times. It's instant loading times with the X. Well, you're going to get the same with the S. It's no different. They're putting the same customized SSD in it, but it's only a 512. All right, it doesn't have a disk drive in it, but it's there for a digital box. It's made to be digital. The storage is expandable. Yeah, I mean, I'm half tempted to buy a Series S. I really am.
Well, I like playing in 4K, so I may buy one just to check it out and then give it to my kids because my kids could care less between the difference. And here's the thing. People are like, well, why would you get a 2K screen? Hello, if you've got a 4K monitor, you can play 2K content.
Absolutely.
So it's like if you've got a 1080p, that's fine. You'll be paying 1080p. But if you've got a 4K TV, which a lot of people, I just got this 55-inch 4K Samsung for $350.
Yes.
I'll be able to play 2K games on that. It's going to work great. You don't have to worry about it. So, I may buy one of those and just give it to my kids. I may check it out. I haven't historically done console stuff on my channel, but I'll do an unboxing and I'll check it out, do it first impressions and stuff.
Also, you won't be able to play 4K on the expansion slots. I've not heard that.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look into that because they're selling their own proprietary. Are they really $400 for the 2080 Super?
That's all well and good, but I mean, I bought mine when they first came out. So I mean, yeah, you can always get stuff cheaper, but the thing is they're significantly cheaper because the 3070 is like $499 and it outperforms the 2080 Super. So this new RTX 3 series that's come out is just ridiculous. You look at the 3080. The 3080 is only like $699, isn't it?
Yeah, $699 for a 3080, and the power increase over the 2080 is insane.
Yeah, I heard some people talking about how that's just in RTX and it's not FPS across the board, but that's the future.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be substantially better, and the thing is, it's substantially cheaper. Yeah. That's one of the things that's kept people from the gaming market and the PC. It's like, all right, so I got to buy this computer. But then I got to spend $800 on a video card so I can play 4K, and then I got to spend $500 to get a 4K monitor.
You see, what they've done here is they're quite clever in video. So now, if you've already got a gaming PC, but you're thinking, well, I might just buy an Xbox instead of dealing with all that bull crap.
Get the RTX 3070.
Yeah, there you go. Why bother?
Bolt on power.
Huh?
Bolt on power.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been playing Flight Sim 2020 on my 4K monitor. Does look very good. I know. So like 12 to 16 gig of RAM, it eats it all, like all of it.
Isn't it supposed to be like free with like the Xbox Game Pass or something too?
And then that's the other good thing about Xbox that they've just announced today. So you got Xbox Game Pass where you have 100 games at any time. You download them, you don't stream them. They're there. You even you even get the free extras that come with it and DLC. It comes with that. Then today, EA Sports have just announced, and EA have announced all their games. So Madden 21, FIFA 21, NBA are all going to be on Games Pass.
That's going to be big because that's one of the reasons like people love playing on consoles. They love Madden. They love their NBA, NFL. Yeah, they love those games.
So you may have and this is the thing. You do get better first-party games on the PlayStation. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, for sure.
You have better first-party, no doubt. But most people don't play first-party games. They play Madden. They play FIFA. They play Call of Duty. They're the games they're playing. They're the ones that are big money makers. And Xbox doing that, even though you're about to get those games still on the PlayStation, you don't have to pay for them on the Xbox. It's going to come free with the Games Pass. So that is how they got that. I do not know. It's great.
Another thing about those games, though, well, they don't care because they're going to get you with microtransactions. They're going to give you the game up front, and then they're going to hit you over the head with microtransactions. But here's one thing that I do want to note, though, and that David says, I've heard nothing but terrible things about Madden 21 and NBA like 2K21.
That's fine, but you got to remember though, they still sell millions of copies, and you don't have to go out and buy it anymore if you own an Xbox.
The funny thing with those games though is like you turn around like when the next one comes out and they're like $4.99 at GameStop. Like they have no value whatsoever. The next year, guaranteed.
No one cares. It's a 12-month cycle, and then it's trash. But I think that was a masterstroke by
well, if they get more people to come over to the Xbox, and then by proxy, they might get a couple of bucks off of that. They're still going to get the microtransactions. They're going to make money off of it. It's guaranteed money instead of
Ultimate Team on all the sports games that they use is the biggest moneymaker for them. Especially on FIFA Ultimate Team makes them far more money than people going out buying FIFA on its own.
Well, like here's for instance with me, like I wouldn't really be interested in playing NBA 2K22 or whatever's coming out, but if I got it for free, I'd try playing it with you or somebody else. I'd give it a whirl for free. But here's the other thing. When you get sports, you get nostalgia. You get players that you want to play. Mm-hmm. If they offered me the 1994-95 Rockets lineup, you bet I'd pay $10 to get that lineup on my game.
I think Microsoft have really played a bit of a masterstroke there. They had EA Play. When they originally had EA Play before PlayStation, they had it for years before, and it was such a good value because $30 a year and you got all these free games. It's like Battlefield will be free on there. I don't know whether you played Battlefield 5. Their Battle Royale, I still say, is better than Warzone. It's just there's not enough people play it.
Battlefield 1 and 2 and Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Vietnam, Battlefield 2 were amazing. And then like 3 and 4 kind of lost me. 5 is good. Mm-hmm. I just play Warzone. But the funny thing is though, we need to get going here. But I want to talk about this real quick. We're talking about all this like high-speed 4K technology and all these different games and stuff, and like 50% of these consoles are going to be used to play Fall Guys.
Pretty much.
Little game.
PS5 guys. It's not coming to the Xbox. PS5 only. I'll buy a PS5 as well. I'll have both.
Yeah, it will. I mean, it will eventually. I think right now they're kind of talking about getting it on mobile first, and I would see
it isn't on mobile already because that is the perfect mobile game.
Oh, it's one of those things. I don't think they thought it was going to be as big of a hit as they thought it was going to be. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of this game, and it's a fun game. It's very frustrating, but it is enjoyable, and my kids love it too. So anyway, let's go ahead and I guess we can wrap this up. We're
gone to when we move on to Xbox and PlayStation. That's a whole nother hour.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week we can just talk consoles. Maybe next Wednesday we'll just talk.
Pre-orders open on the 22nd for the Xbox.
What do we got? Well, next week is going to be phones. Next week is going to be iPhone. But maybe next week we'll talk. Well, not iPhone, but it's going to be the iPad and the new watch and stuff. So we can talk about that next week. Next week, mark it on your calendars. We're going to talk Apple products, but we're going to talk consoles too. We'll talk PlayStation 5, we'll talk Xbox, and we'll lay some of that stuff out. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, then next week will be good. And because David asked real quick, any thoughts about Fortnite, Apple in the Play Store? Fortnite's about to get boned hard. So that's my impression. If you've seen the movie Rocky 3 and they asked Mr. T what his prediction is,
pain.
1 + 18, am I going to get it? Likely not, unless there's some sort of a good deal. I might, if they've got
this year, no 1 + 18 Pro. They're getting rid of the Pro.
Yeah, well, they need to because nobody's buying that.
Yeah, exactly.
So next week will be fun. Next week we'll talk games. We'll talk Apple. Bring your questions. And also don't forget Friday night is going to be the Friday night block party. We'll be doing that as well. I don't know if Dan's going to be there, but I'll be there, and we'll find some fun things to talk about. So. Y'all have a wonderful week. Make sure you set a reminder for next Wednesday, 7:30, same bat time, same bat channel. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a good time, as always. I mean, we sit here and talk forever and ever. We always run over. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, Linesman. Take care, buddy.
Peace out, buddies.